Raining in a while, and precipitation, and rain is better than snow, so this is all good. Just want to get my thoughts and weigh in yet again. Two strong public black figures, or black public figures, had a public squabble on YouTube for the world to see, or at least that sector that watches, urban YouTube or whatever. But it was Zoe Williams and Corey Holcomb, man. It was a long time coming, because ideologically those cats are different. Corey Holcomb, he's a comedian. He's more boisterous. Talks a lot of shit, says a lot of things out of pocket. Doesn't really use that much tactic. That's his thing. And then Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, though he has a temper. He's a person that's always trying to look at the. He tries to be objective and trying to see like the rational side of things. And those two different mindsets. Eventually, it was just a matter of time before they clashed. You know what I mean? Surprised it didn't happen sooner. But to sum it up real quick, there was one of Corey Holcomb's former homeboys or whatever. You know what I'm saying? People that from Chicago, a comedian by the name of Ray Grady. He and Corey got into it because I don't know the full specific story, but from what I gathered, Corey was like, "Yeah, we be fucking them hoes, right, Grady?" Like, just to sum it up. And then Grady got a wife or whatever. He lived, you know what I'm saying? I don't know his living situation, but I know he's with somebody. So even if he's doing his thing, he doesn't want to publicly admit that. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep that on the reps. And then Corey got mad at him for not admitting that shit. But it's like, yo, if your boy doing his thing with the bitches, you ain't supposed to be talking about that shit publicly. You keep that. You supposed to keep those type of things under wraps. So I can understand why Grady had issues with Corey. But then, from what I heard, Grady was talking some gangster stuff, like, I'm from the Chicago, I'm from the streets, GD type stuff. And Corey was just pulling his car, man, you ain't with none of that shit. Stop all of that. Let's just squash this between ourselves and let it be done. And then from what I heard, Corey heard that Grady was talking stuff about him because they had like a mutual barber. And so Corey was like, all right, fuck it, if you want to keep talking shit, I'm gonna keep this on Front Street. But I don't know how true that is, because Corey straight up, he always, I wouldn't say he always lies, but he does go back on a lot of things or fabricate things, and he's wrong in a lot of instances. You know what I'm saying? And so, Corey, just like for the past, because I watched the past 2 episodes, Corey kept bringing up Brady's name and, shitting on and stuff like that. And after a while, Darlene was like, yo, you guys were friends. You should really handle this behind the scenes. And then Corey's argument was, well, he wasn't handling behind the scenes. He's putting on Front Street, so he put on Front Street, whatever. And then eventually, like Zoe was saying the same thing. Even like the last episode where they was going in on Brady, not the one with Zoe and Corey was going back and forth, but the episode where the one before that, when the cat came out the bag about Brady or whatever, Zoe kept on saying like, listen, man, let's not talk about this. Like, both of y'all cats is cool. Talk about this behind the scenes or whatever. Like, Zoe kept saying this for like 2 episodes, but Corey refused. Kept talking about it. So in the latest episode, it came to a fever pitch. Corey and Darlene was going back and forth, whatever. Darlene was getting tired of like Corey always alluding to her being a lesbian, no matter how many times that she says that she isn't. And then Corey was coming at her or whatever, and then Zoe stepped in and was like, Corey, you do act like a hypocrite sometimes, blah blah blah, and that's what set Corey off. And he was like, Zoe, you be on some bullshit too. You was up in Buffalo and you was defending young Pharaoh against Rizza Islam, but Rizza Islam supposed to be our people, and then Zoe was basically saying, I see them. They was both on my show. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to have no beef or anything like that. I'm just trying to settle things between black men that I'm cool with as much as I possibly can. And then Corey and Zoe just basically going back and forth. And Zoe didn't really say nothing bad. Zoe was just saying Corey was a hypocrite. But when Zoe was saying how we should keep these things we should talk about these things behind closed doors. Even Zoe making the comment that Corey, like he said, Zoe was like, "You're one of the biggest hypocrites we know." He said, "We know." That's a comment that Zoe could have. He could have taken his own advice and said that behind closed doors. Now, y'all all gotta understand that this is YouTube, this is entertainment, this is Front Street. So motherfuckers is putting on a show. I'm not saying it's fake, but a lot of times people will say extra shit because, you know, it is for an audience. Not saying it's fake at all, right? So Zoe could have avoided a lot of Corey's vitriol if he would have did this behind the scenes instead of, you know what, Corey? You know what, Corey? Before this goes into a place that's unintentionally dark, I'd rather we just talk about this behind the scenes. Like Joe and Zoe should have just left at that point. But anyway, they wanted to air their shit out. So Corey brought up the Zoe shit of defending young Pharaoh. And then so Zoe brought up the fact that Corey said he was going to beat Stephen A. or talk cash shit to Stephen A. Smith and Charles Barkley. And he didn't do any to either of them. And even Corey joked on himself, was like, "Man, I didn't really want that smoke. I'll just be talking that shit." But they didn't run up on me either, so whatever. And anyway, they going back and forth, and then it comes out that Corey Holcomb, even though he kind of like celebrated the fact that Zoe beat up Ari Spears or assaulted Ari Spears, he basically said, "Yo, you cost me $20,000. You messed up the studio. You supposed to be the voice of reason. Blah blah blah. Why couldn't you show constraint in that situation?" And Zoe was like, "I tried." He said, Zoe was like, "You did a bad job of moderating. In between breaks, I was telling Aries to calm down, and he still kept touching me and being disrespectful and whatever. So that's what happened. I apologize for it. That's what happened." And then Corey was like, "Yeah, you cost me $20,000, blah blah blah." And then Zoe was like, he said, "Yeah, but like when it went down and when you paid for it, you said, don't even worry about the money. I got you." Now this is the thing. If Corey really wanted to be paid back, he should have let that be known years ago. And on the flip side, when it happened on Zoe's case, even though Corey said that you're good, Zoe still should have been putting aside a little bit of money as an insurance policy, just in case shit goes wrong and Corey throws him in the face, or just to have it in general, because at the end of the day, you did fight, you did throw the first blows, you did cost this cat some money, so that should have been in Zoe's mindset to put that bread to the side for a weekend. At any rate, I don't want to be too long with this shit, so long story short, Corey's like, "I don't want to fuck with niggas like you. I just keep you around because you're smart." Basically calling Zoe lame and shit, and basically he challenged Zoe to a fight. He was like, "Oh, you was mad when you was going back and forth with Aries, so you threw them elbows. You mad right now? You don't want to throw them elbows." Like Corey was challenging him, and then Zoe, looking at what happened with Aries, I'm sure Zoe was tempted. But Zoe has a much stronger connection with Corey than he had with Aries, so it's easier to show restraint to your family members or your brothers than it is to some nigga on the street. You know what I mean? And Zoe just didn't want a repeat of what happened before. Zoe wasn't scared. I think Zoe was really thinking logically, like, I already put myself in a $20,000 debt, losing my cool over some bullshit on camera. I know Corey was trying to fucking incite me or whatever at this point, but like, nah. Whether he win or lose, you fight, you're gonna lose in that situation, man, publicly. So Zoe showed restraint, but it still kind of made him, to a non-objective person, it did make him look soft because he punched up on Aries when Aries talking that shit. And Corey like straight up challenged him, and he, I wouldn't call it a back down. You know what I mean? You just have to know when to fight your battles and know how to fight your battles. You know what I'm saying? And then Corey brought up like you ain't get physical with Freeze Love, but like Zoe said, Freeze Love and him was friends for like 25 years. He don't just go around just fighting like his real good friends like that. And Corey basically said, "I don't fuck with niggas like you. You the weakest link. I only keep you around because you're smart." And me personally, and this is just my opinion, I don't think Corey meant that shit, yo. I really think he was just on some feminine shit. You know how women, they get pissed off and they'll just say, "You got a small dick, I'll fuck your best friend." You know what I mean? he was exhibiting feminine qualities within that situation, and it was like a rose/signified type situation, and he was just saying whatever. He was saying whatever that, like, because his feelings was hurt. Give me 1 second. I gotta go buy some cashews. Give me 1 second. My bad. I was getting my flirt on. I'm definitely I'm gonna edit this long part out. But how can they make amends? Oh yeah. So he said he was he called Zoe the weakest link. I only hang out with niggas like you because you smart. Like, I normally don't fuck with dudes like whatever that means though. It's like why would you, if you think somebody, like, if you don't hang out with a certain type of cat, you know what I mean? Then why would you have them be a part of your cipher and your circle for over 10 years? What does that make you look like? You know? If you chilling with people, chilling with this person, breaking bread with this person, and you chilling with a person, breaking bread with a person, introducing this person to your friends and your family, and that's somebody that you don't fuck with. It doesn't coincide with, you know, what friendship is like. It just doesn't match up. I don't take what Corey said seriously. Corey said a lot of wild shit. Corey said he was gonna cuss off Stephen A. Smith. Corey said he was gonna fight Charles Barkley. He didn't do none of that shit. So a lot of things that he says, he's proven that he doesn't mean it. And if that's the case, who's to say he didn't really mean what he said when he said to Zoe about Zoe being the weakest link, which Zoe isn't the weakest link. Zoe's like, Zoe is a highly intelligent. He's like almost like he's not almost. He's like a minister of information, man. You know, he has his flaws. You know, just because you're highly intelligent doesn't mean you're good with money. I'm a prime example. I'm not saying highly intelligent, but people always say how smart I am, but for some reason I haven't translated that into a monetary standpoint. Eventually, I think I'll get it, but that's not like really my focus like that. And I think that's the same thing with Zoe Williams. But if Corey Holcomb has a proven track record of not meaning what he says, he couldn't possibly mean that shit when he said Zoe was the weakest link. He don't fuck with niggas like home. I don't believe that shit. I don't think Zoe believes it either. I think Corey was just genuinely hurt. Somebody else theorized. I think I was watching Craig Smith, and he was saying, like, you know, with comedy being so slowed down and a lot of these road comics, like Corey's a road comic, their bread and butter being like severely altered, man. When you have money issues like that, man, the shit just make you more stressed and on edge. You blowing up with Grady, blowing up at D, blowing up at Zoe. The motherfucker's just off kilter right now. You know what I mean? And that happens. It's just unfortunate that, you know, his friends are taking like the blows from. It's almost like you're having a meltdown. But anyway, how they gonna make amends? Like, I mean, it has to be some type of public apology, and Corey just break it down. Like, you know what? I'm just going through some shit right now. Me and you was going back and forth. I didn't really mean that shit. My feelings was real hurt. And I just wanted to say anything just to lash out at you, to get at you, because when you call me one of the biggest hypocrites that we know, that shit hurt my feelings. And you know what I'm saying? I felt like that was a low blow towards me, so I'm gonna say whatever low blow thing towards you. But I didn't really mean that shit. You know what I mean? That's what Corey gonna have to do. Not saying it's gonna happen. I think Zoe has the aptitude to accept that apology. I think Zoe has the aptitude. I don't know why I can't talk. I think Zoe has the aptitude in order to accept that apology. You know what I'm saying? He's the voice of reason. He has his flaws. He's been through a lot of shit growing up, and you know, he definitely has anger issues. But it's something that he's conscious about. It's something that he admits, and it's something that he's trying to work on. I think Zoe values their friendship. You know, whenever it comes to two people going at it, man, you always need one person to really, really like be the big man in order for the shit to work out. And I have confidence that it will work out. It's just unfortunate it went down the way it did. But like Corey, you got to just do some soul searching, man, and know when and where to have these squabbles, man. Certain squabbles, man, need to be handled in the house. And that's all I got to say. I think they'll be all right. I think Corey know the truth and Corey know the real and Corey really knows who his friends is. I done seen Corey compliment Zoe so many times when Zoe had beef with Aries. When Zoe had beef with Tommy Sotomayor. Corey always stood up for him like this is a good brother. The earth needs Zoe Williams. Like I heard Corey say that shit. So how you gonna go from the earth needs this man? This man makes the world a better place by himself being here. How you gonna go from that to calling him the weakest link? It doesn't match up. It doesn't add up. You know, but that'd be all right. Man. It's unfortunately entertaining to watch. It's something to talk about. It got these YouTube streets popping. That's my take. This video is extra long, but when I go back in, I'm going to edit it. I'm gonna cut it up, and whatever. I'll holler at y'all. Hashtag everybody need more. Hashtag everybody need more green. Peace.